Dear student, Namaste and welcome to an English class of grade 10, Unit 3. Are you all ready with the textbook? Good. So get ready with the textbook and exercise book. Today we will be talking about a reading comprehension and reading 1. And it is all about health and wellness. Did you find it in your textbook? Good. So now let us talk about getting started section. Do you see getting started section in your textbook? Now let us talk about getting started section. Dear student, health and wellness, getting started. What do you see in this picture? Look at the figure below and talk about different dimensions of wellness. We might have known about health and wellness. So what do you see in this given figure? Can you guess it? Good. There are 8 dimensions of wellness. How can we make our body fit and healthy? What essential factors do we need to make our body healthy and fit? In this figure gives you some ideas about health and wellness. Can one of you read? Relating the picture? Excellent. The picture shows 8 dimensions of wellness. In this picture, you may see physical health, similarly social health, occupational health or wellness, financial wellness, environmental wellness, spiritual wellness, and intellectual as well as environmental wellness. Maybe you might have guessed the same thing. So these are 8 dimensions of wellness. So in order to become well, in order to become healthy, a person must have physical fitness, socially well-being, occupationally also well-being, financially also fine, environmentally there must be a good environment surrounding us. Similarly, emotionally, spiritually and intellectually too. Can you guess what is physical health mean? Can you guess what is social health means? Similarly, occupational, financial, intellectual, spiritual and so on. Can you guess it? Good. Here we go. 8 dimensions of wellness. As we have said, the first one is look at the picture and guess what the people are doing. You are right. They are in the given picture. People are doing exercise. Why they are doing exercise? They are doing the exercise to make the body fit and healthy. So this is known as physical health. So what is physical health? Can you guess? Can you define what is physical health? Good. Physical health can be defined as the normal functioning of the body, representing one dimension of total well-being. It's about how your body grows, feels and moves, how you care for it. So if we are able to make our body fit and healthy, and if our body can function properly, there is no any disturbances of our physical well-being. This is what we should say physical health, as it is given in the picture. Similarly, the next dimension. Can you guess what is the next dimension? Yes, you are right. Can you identify what the picture is about? You are right. What do you see in the picture? People are standing in a circle. People are joining their hands. What are they doing? Good, you're right. They are socially organized. Okay? So it is not about social health. Can one of you define what is social health? Good. Now, social health is the aspect of overall well-being that stems from connection and community. So we human beings are the social animal. So we have to establish a good relationship among the community, and we have to maintain a social activity. And if we are able to maintain a social activity, good social activity and community activity, this is what we should say social health. It is very, very essential for wellness. Dear student, can you guess what these people are doing? Yes, you're right. Maybe they are doing some exercises. They are busy in their job. Your guess is correct. This is known as occupational health. People are busy in their occupation, their job. So, in order to become wellness, a person must have some occupation. This is known as occupational health. Occupational health is an area of work in public health to promote and maintain highest degree of physical, mental and social well-being of workers in all occupation. See, in occupational health, there we must have physical exercise, mental exercise and social relationship, and we can develop a public relation among the people. So this is another important health that we require. This is known as occupational health. Now, guess what this picture is about? Can one of you guess? Yes, you're right. People are busy talking about their finance, right? Money. They are busy on monetary aspect. So they are concentrating, calculating in a gadget. They are serious enough. So in order to become healthy and wellness, a person must have financial health. So what is financial health? Can one of you guess? Absolutely right. Financial health is a composite measurement of an individual financial life. No money, no life. So, in order to survive ourselves, in order to exist ourselves, money also takes a matter. Okay? This is another dimension of wellness, financial health. Next one, what do you see in this picture? Can one of you guess it? Absolutely, you are right. Yeah, there is a globe, and in the globe there are, let's say, two hands, and it seems greenery also. It's very, very good. So, can you guess what health do this picture represent? Yes, you're right. This is known as environmental health. You are right. So, in order to become wellness, in order to become healthy, our surrounding must be neat and clean. If there is no neatness, if there is no cleanliness, so we cannot imagine good health and wellness of an individual. If so, then now guess what is an environmental health? define what is an environmental health? Yes, you are right. Environmental health is the branch of public health that focuses on the relationships between people and their environment. There must be a good relationship between people and their environment. Promotes human health and well-being and fosters healthy and safe communities. When our environment is healthy, when our environment is very, very neat and clean, it boosts the healthy and safe communities. It is another essential factor for an individual to become healthy and well. Next one, how wonderful picture this is. I believe you guess this picture. Can you identify the picture? It is already written there, spiritual health. You know, spirit related to soul. Okay, so we must have spiritual health as well. So can you guess what does spiritual health mean? Spiritual health includes a purposeful life, transcendence and actualization of different dimensions and capacities of human beings. Spiritually, we have to be free and fine. There should not be any kind of, let's say, problem that we create ourselves from our soul. Let our soul be fresh and healthy. So this is another dimension of wellness. Can you identify what do you see in the picture? There is a man, for example, or head of the man. What do you see in the picture? Yes, you are right. Your guess is correct. This is intellectual health. Intellectual health related to knowledge, where the knowledge is stored in our mind, in our this brain. So a person can be healthier if he or she has a good knowledge in his or her mind. This is known as intellectual health. Now, can you define what is intellectual health? Perfect. Here we go. Intellectual wellness recognizes creative abilities and encourages us to find ways to expand our knowledge and skills. It is related to expand our knowledge and skills. If we have skills and knowledge in our mind, that is known as intellectual health. A person must have this type of health as well. Okay. Now, this is known as emotional health. You know, emotional attachment. There must be a good emotion that is related to anxiety, fear, love, affection. These sorts of things are related to emotional health. So a person must have, in order to become healthy and wellness, a person must have a good emotional health. Emotional health is about how we think and feel. It is about our sense of well-being. So, how we think and how we feel is related to emotional health. And it is all about our sense of well-being. So, in order to become healthy and wellness, dear student, we must have those 8 different dimensions of wellness. A person have physical wellness, a person has social wellness, intellectual wellness, spiritually wellness, environmentally wellness, similarly financially wellness, emotionally wellness. So these are what? 8 dimensions of wellness. Now you guess it yourself, think it yourself, and judge it yourself whether you have those 8 different dimensions of wellness or not? If we have 8 different dimensions of wellness, then we are really healthier and well people. Now, dear student, we are going to discuss the issue of reading comprehension, and it is reading 1. Look at the picture and answer these questions. Can you see the picture? What do you see in the picture? What the woman is doing there in the picture? Can you guess it? Yes, of course, you are right. Who do you think the woman is? Who do you think the woman is? Guess it. Yes, you are right. She is wearing medical uniform and holding a baby, holding an infant on her arms. So guess it. Who is she? The woman is a nurse. You are right. What is she doing? She is holding a baby in her arms, which indicates that she is caring for the infant or assisting with medical procedures. She is holding a baby in her arms, which indicates that she is caring for the infant, or she is supporting the infants with medical procedures. You're right. C. Have you ever been to hospital for treatment? How did the hospital staff treat you? What is your answer? Have you ever been to the hospital? Yes, of course, we have been to the hospital. And what is your experience about the behavior of the hospital staff? Maybe sometimes we feel and we become happy with the behavior of doctors and nurses. Sometimes we behave rudely also. They behave us rudely also. That might be the answers, okay? Yes, I have been to the hospital several times. I went both private and public hospitals, but the treatment of the hospital staffs were not the same. As I said, we have both the experiences. Some hospital staffs treated us well, however, some behaved rudely. We might guess the answer in this way. Now, dear student, let us focus our reading comprehension, health and wellness. Here is a letter from a patient. Dear student, the narrator or the author of this letter is the mother of the patient. So on behalf of the patient, the mother is writing this letter to the healthcare worker. Are you all ready to listen? Can one of you read the first paragraph of this reading comprehension? Good. Let us read together. Dear healthcare worker, I recently experienced a parent's worst nightmare. Look at the picture. An infant is in the hospital. Here we have the vocabulary, nightmare, a very unpleasant or frightening experience. One evening, my 9-week-old baby developed an extremely high fever. We rushed to our local community hospital and were admitted through the emergency department to the pediatric unit. What do you mean by pediatric? Yes, you're right. Relating to the medical care of children. We see in the hospital there are different units. Pediatric unit and other units, emergency unit. Okay? So pediatric unit is the unit of the hospital where the treatment is only done for the children. Medical support is given only for the children. Pediatric unit, we were discharged 3 days later thanks to the skilled doctors and nurses who care for our precious little one. While our infant's care and health outcomes were fantastic, our experience was less than satisfactory. What did you understand from the first paragraph of this reading comprehension? The author or the patient's mother, she had an experience and her experience was not good. Her experience was very unpleasant. That means nightmare. One evening, her 9-week-old baby was suffered from high fever, and she took her 9-week-old baby to the community hospital and were admitted through the emergency department of the pediatric unit of the hospital. The 9-week baby was sick. She was suffering from high fever and she was discharged after 3 days. And the author of this letter gave a lot of thanks to all the doctors and nurses who cared for her precious child, as if she had a bitter experience about the hospitals and the healthcare workers. What are those dissatisfaction of the patient's mother? Let us talk now. During my hospital stay, whose hospital stay? Yes, the authors or the mother of the patient. During my hospital stay, many staff took the opportunity to badmouth. You know the meaning of badmouth? Badmouth means complaining. Their colleagues to me when we were alone. I am not sure if this occurred because I looked rather trustworthy or they wanted to let me know they were more competent than their colleagues. There were the hospital staffs in the hospital. They complain about their colleagues. Colleagues here refers to friend unnecessarily. And the hospital workers or the healthcare workers, they think that I here refers to the mother of the patient. She was trustworthy for them. They complain about their friends. They complain about their friends' competency. They complain about their friends' work. Okay? The emergency nurses complained about the doctor's order. Look at, the emergency nurses complained about doctor orders and the delay in response of the pediatric nurses. The pediatric nurses complained about the emergency room nurses' inability to get an intravenous line. The pediatrician complained about orders made by the emergency doctor. Once admitted, our pediatric nurse complained about the pediatrician approach to the care of my baby. Then the pediatrician complained about the pediatric nurse's lack of ability to obtain a urine sample. So what is the meaning of competent here? having the necessary ability, intravenous, into or connected to a vein. In this paragraph, what did you understand? There is the complaining. And who complains about whom? The healthcare workers who work in the hospital, they complain about their friends. Sometimes the nurses who work in the pediatric unit, they complain about the nurses who work in the emergency department unit. Similarly, sometimes the emergency unit or the nurses of the emergency unit, they complain about the nurses who work in the pediatric unit. There is not a good relationship. They complain about their competency of their work, their ability in their duty. So this is what a very bitter experience of the patient's mother. And they share, who share? The healthcare worker. They share their complaining to the patient's mother. Are you with me, student? Good. Continuously, at every opportunity, the parent in me wanted to scream at the top of my lungs, "Can everyone stop complaining about each other and look after my sick baby?" So, the author or the mother of the patient became irritated and she was about to scream. Scream here refers to sobbing, crying. The healthcare workers gave a lot of trouble complaining about their friends. And then she said that, "Can everyone stop complaining about each other? Can you stop this complaining habit? And what is your duty? Your duty is to look after my sick baby," she said to the healthcare workers. From my vantage point here refers to a place or position affording a good view of something, point out something. From my vantage point, it seemed that everyone was so focused on their own needs and skills. Who were focused on their own needs and skills? The healthcare workers were focused on their own needs and skills. They were not concerning about the sick baby. They were not concerning about the sick people in the hospital. How shameful this is. That they appeared completely insensible. They were not sensitive that there was a sick baby that needed their help. So what is the duty of the healthcare workers in the hospital? The duty of the healthcare workers in the hospital is to look after the sick people in the hospital. But they were not doing so. In fact, it was downright disappointing. So, disappointing refers to sadness, hopeless. This did nothing other than state to me that egos were taking priority over my daughter's care. So, they developed the egos themselves. The healthcare develops the egos themselves. And they gave developing egos rather than giving or taking priorities over my daughter's care, means the author's daughter's care. Are you with me, student? Excellent. Now next one. I cannot tell you how many times nurses told me, "I am so busy today." Look at the condition, the very, very serious condition. The authors requested the healthcare workers, nurses, regarding to look after the sick baby. So what was the response of the nurses? "I am so busy today." I am not sure if they were telling me to excuse the fact that my daughter's medications were not on time, or maybe they were simply looking for support. What is the meaning of medication? Look at it. You can see the picture. This is what? Related to medicine, treatment using drugs. The sick baby requires high care, treatment, and the mother of the patient requested the nurses that please look after my children, and they said that I am so busy. So it is their response. Their refers to the healthcare workers' response. Every time I heard this statement, my head played my one version that sounded more like your daughter is not a priority. So they kept, the nurses and doctors, they kept, my baby is not the priority for the treatment. And what was their priority? The priority for healthcare workers who work in the hospital was to develop egos, to complaining about their friends. You can see in the picture as well, high medication is required for the baby, sick baby, but it was not given by the healthcare workers. Next paragraph. Can one of you read? Good. Let us read together. Do not use patients or their families as your personal confidant. What is the meaning of confidant here? A person with whom private matters and problems are discussed. Shall we discuss our private matter with anyone? No. And what is the request of the patient's mother? Do not share your confidence to us. Do not share your privacy to me and other people. Keep it with you. I was in that hospital room to care for my infant and see her condition improve, not to hear that staff were not equipped to see this goal through. Patient and their families need to know they are your priority and your job is to care for them in an effort to restore health. Please take time to tell them this, share in positive news with them as if you are happy too, because I know you are. So, the author or the mother of the patient requested many times, do not share your privacy to other. The authors or the mother of the patient requested to all the healthcare workers, do not share your privacy to me. And your task is not to share your privacy to me. Your task is to look after the sick child. Remember your goal. Your goal is to restore good health of the children, she said. Next paragraph, again she said, use the chart, read it, write in it and refer to it. After all, this is where everything that happens should be documented. Whatever you have done in the time of treatment, so you must make a chart, you must read it, you must write it, and you must prepare a document. At every interaction with a physician and their students, I was asked the same question. Look at, there were some physicians also, and they came with their students, and they asked the authors the same question. What were the questions? Was she premature? Was your delivery normal? Many times they asked the same questions. Repeatedly they asked. I answered this question the same each time. Surely someone wrote this down in our chart. So what is the suggestion here of the mothers or the patient's mother? The suggestion to the healthcare workers is that you have to develop a chart, you have to read it, and you must write something there, and you must keep a document about the patient properly. Don't ask me the same questions repeatedly, as They asked her, was she premature? Was the delivery normal? The majority of healthcare workers that approached my daughter referred to her as a male. Look at the very simple condition. Document is there, but they did not prepare a well document and they were confused whether my daughter is male or female. Healthcare workers were confused. I would politely correct them with her or she. Again, when healthcare workers were confused about the gender of the patient and the patient's mother correct them. She is a female, she is not a male. My daughter spent her time in hospital wearing only a diaper, even though it does not indicate, despite no obvious gender indicator. Surely somewhere in my paperwork it indicated that she was female. Yes, when we see the document, and in the document there must be clearly mentioned gender, address, and so on and so on. So, but they did not develop the document and they were confused and they asked the same question many times, whether she is male or female. As sleep deprivation, deprivation meaning of deprivation, the lack of something considered to be a necessity. And stress as sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation means lack of sleepness, okay? And stress took their toll. I wonder what other mistakes may exist on my baby's paperwork. So the patient's mother was confused again. They made a lot of paperwork about my sick baby. Please be careful of what you say to patients and how you say it. When you are caught on such a slip up, be genuine in your apology and make a sincere effort to refrain. Refrain refers to stop oneself from doing something. So she is suggesting that please stop doing mistake, errors, even in the paperwork, even in the documentation. She is suggesting to all the healthcare workers. And don't repeat the mistakes again. From repeating the same mistake next time, patients and their families need to know that you are listening and that you care about what it is they are saying. The gender error is one that left me with a sense of sloppiness. Meaning of sloppiness? Lack of care and organization. Of course, there was lack of care to the sick child and lack of focus on behalf of all who made this innocent mistake. This is all about their mistake. This is all about healthcare workers' errors. And the patient's mother also gave a lot of suggestion to healthcare workers. And their students, meanings of the words, difficult words, which are highlighted in the paragraph. For example, deprivation. Yes, the meaning is there, the lack of something considered to be necessity. Similarly, you can read out the meaning and their words and their meanings. Next one, look at the picture again. What do you think? The work related to medicine is not a glamorous career. It's a very serious and noble career, right? Let us read the next paragraph together. Are you all ready? Yes. I am a healthcare worker just like you. Who was a healthcare worker? Patient's mother. She was also a healthcare worker. People trust us to take care of their most precious loved ones in their most vulnerable states, meaning of vulnerable, in need of special care, support or protection. This is our job and we do it with pride, but how we treat each other is dreadful. Meaning of dreadful, very bad or unpleasant. Patients know that healthcare is not a glamorous career. Glamorous, it's not an attractive or appealing in an exotic or exciting way. Really, this is healthcare service is not a glamorous one. So it is a very, very prideful job, prestigious job, very serious job. according to the patient's mother. They know that most of us do it because we want to help sick people get well. What is the duty of the healthcare worker? The duty of the healthcare worker is to look after the sick people, so that they should be always serious and attentive. There is a suggestion of the patient's mother. Patients know that healthcare is not a glamorous career choice. They know that most of us do it because we want to help sick people get well. Do your best to confirm this belief when people are in your care. I am not innocent of uttering some of these statements above. However, I can assure you that I will be more conscious of what I say to patients and their families after my detailed hospital stay. So here is another very wonderful suggestion given by the patient's mother, an appreciative mother to all the healthcare workers. And in this paragraph, she has given her experience. Okay? And she said that healthcare working is not a glamorous career, it is a very serious one. And the duty of the healthcare worker is to look after the sick people, and they should be always attentive and very serious enough in their duty. So here we have the vocabulary, meanings, words and their meanings. Vulnerable, in need of special care, yes, support or protection. Dreadful, very bad and unpleasant. Glamorous, attractive or appealing in an exotic or exciting way. This is what we must understand, the meaning, words and the meaning. Now, the last paragraph of this reading comprehension. Fellow healthcare workers, choose to interact with the patients in a way that instills confidence in yourself and your fellow team members. You alone have the power to positively shape the patient's experience. Yours truly, an appreciative mother, and the meaning of instills is to put a feeling and idea. So this is what the letter is written by an appreciative mother to all the healthcare workers on behalf of the patient's sick child. So what is her suggestion finally? Her suggestion to all the fellow healthcare workers is to be honest, to be serious, to be interactive with the patients, and be supportive with them and treat them in such a way that show the patient feel very, very motivated, patients feel very happy and loved ones. So this is what the suggestion of an appreciative mother to all the healthcare workers through this reading comprehension and later. Thank you so much, dear student. Have a good day.